We're live. Thanks for waiting, everybody, if you were hanging out there on Facebook waiting for us to get in. Okay, on the schedule is 8x8, which is from the MREA, the Red Book, which is a concept of when you first meet a contact, that you will have 8 touches with them in 8 weeks to really cement in who you are, what you do. We're not going to do that today. The conversation came up. There's a couple people who have CMAs they're going to do this weekend, and it's a really important thing. So we're going to jump ahead in what we normally would consider a progression from getting leads to working the lead to turning the lead into a prospect and then listing their house. We're going to jump straight to getting ready to list their house. So here up on the screen I have Google Chrome. I'm going to use my bookmarks. Follow along as best you can. We're going to pick a house. We're going to go to the Mesa County Assessor's website. We're going to start from that point. Let's see.
I have one for you.
You want me to do your specific one? Is it a fairly typical property or is it abnormal?
No, this one's typical.
Okay, what's the address?
1145. I know, I'm so excited to look at the normal one.
1145
River Rock Court.
River Rock Court. Okay, on the assessor, I'm pulling up the tax card. Over here, if you click this, it'll take you to the GIS, which will let you see a map of the home and the area. That's not what you want to click. You want to click over here for actual value. That will take you to the tax card. That's an old word for it. When I say tax card, sometimes people say, what? Back in the old days, the assessor's office would literally have a piece of cardboard, a little index card that had information about the house on it, and they would have it in their little drawer based off of the parcel number. So this still gets called a tax card. You know, you could call it the assessor's info or whatever. I don't know what other word you would use for it now. All right, here we go. 1145 River Rock in Fruita. We have an aerial photo of it. We see that Greg Million. That's crazy, because I was thinking about someone this morning named Ed Million that I used to know.
I always call him Minion.
Minion?
Yeah, I always
Okay.
do that, but-
So this here on this tax card shows you the tax information. Not necessary for the CMA, but you're going to need that on the listing. It's a whole nother day to talk about all of the assessments. We're going to go down. There's a photo of the front of the house, a rough sketch of the outside of the house, and here's some information about it. The year it was built, how it was built, how many bedrooms it has, you know, the heating system and the gas. This is all of the information that the assessor uses to evaluate the value of the property. I opened up a new tab. I'm going to go to Jajara. Let me back up a step. So we're not just talking about coming up with the value of the house here. I'm going to also show a little bit of the presentation. In my drive, in the KW drive, is a listing presentation. You all have access to it. If you're going to use it, you need to download it and edit it for you. Right now, it has all of Travis's info in it. And you see I've gone My Drive, KW Goody, Listing Tools, Listing Presentation. I'll open it with Google Slides. We're going to breeze through this quick. I'm not going to do the listing presentation right now today in this room. I just want you to start looking at this and start changing it. Come on, computer. So while this is loading, I'm going to bring up a point of how to do a CMA. Just like everything else in this business, there are so many different ways of doing it. I used to, back before I really knew what I was doing, I used to take 2 or 3 properties, see the price per square footage of them, and then just say, well, you should be in this range, and since those say 125 on average per square foot, and you're 2,000 square feet, then, you know, you should be at 250. Yeah, 250 is what that works out to be. That is a really bad way to do it. If you're going to do it that way, you're better off just giving them a Zestimate or the RPR report. Okay? That doesn't tell the whole picture. I've got this up now. So there's a lot to edit here. It's going to take you a couple hours to edit this, to change out your photo, your name, to change out the story about you, things people say about you, yada, 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 yada. Okay, this goes down through all of those steps. I want to show this step here because the listing presentation, the CMA method I'm going to show you. Yeah, zoomed in too much. View, zoom, 100%. There we go. Okay. The way I put this to people is that there's two decisions to be made. They need to decide who the best realtor is to market their house, who the best person is to help find them a buyer for their house, to negotiate the deal and make sure that it closes. That's one decision. The second decision is how they want to position their home in the market. That's how I put it. How do you want to position your home in the market? We're not deciding what their house is worth. We're not an appraiser or an assessor. We're figuring out if we do this, you will be amongst these homes. If we do this, you will be amongst these other homes. And I'm sorry. And so that is the decision they need to make, where they want to put it in the market. I break it down into two decisions because it really is. You may sit and you may have nailed your listing presentation, and you may know exactly what that house is worth because all these other comps, everything says, boom, 275 on the nose. And then another real estate broker that they're talking to comes in and says, oh no, it's worth 300. And they list with the 300 broker, who maybe isn't as good as you, who maybe won't care about it as much as you, but told them it was worth more. So if you break that out in their mind, don't just go with the person who says your house is worth more. Pick me because I'm better. Then you need to decide where your house is going to be in the market. I then say there's a third decision. You need to determine who you want to work with. You need to determine how you want to position your house in the market. And then I need to decide if I want to work with you or not. If I feel it's worth my time to market your home for what you want. That's the way I bring it to them. Okay, so there's lots in here. There's lots in here. Go through this. Learn this listing presentation. We're going to get to the meat of it here in a bit. As I scroll and I scroll and I scroll and I scroll. Here we are. Okay. So when you're talking with them, when you get to this point, and notice this is page 39 in the presentation. Up until this point, you've been talking about who you are, what you can do for them, what's going on in the market, how people find homes. You're educating them. Then you get to their house. And they've been really wanting you to get to their house so bad because they want to know about it. So now you're here at their house. Oh, this slide here is about the subject property. After this sheet, you would insert the assessor's page, maybe previous MLS printouts from it, from when they bought it. Yep, Serena?
Change up the pictures with any of these?
Yeah, this is not the photo that I would include. I would include a photo of their house. If you can go by and take a picture of the front of it and put it in, great. If there's sometimes on the assessors, this is a newer house, so it's not a good example, but you see there's trucks out there. Sometimes the assessors will take a photo of it as it's being built from the 70s, and those are cool pictures because they've got some old green Ford in front, and it's just fun. They can see how tiny the tree is, and people like to see that. They're like, oh, look at that. If you can't get any of those, put an aerial photograph of it or something like that. Google Earth or Google Maps will let you do a 3D view. It's not really 3D, but it kind of comes at an isometric view. So
38, no, not that, where you were. You said before 38?
Before page 38, it is all pretty well standard. There's nothing you have to change for their property.
Okay, so before 38 is everything's just like this. And then
At page 38 here, that's where their home and the real CMA starts.
Now, Travis, I don't have any idea how to get to this.
It's on the Google Drive, listing tools, and KW Goodies. It's shared with you. If it's not, if you don't have shared with me, I apologize and we'll get it in, but I'm pretty sure I shared it with. Yeah. So, okay.
So then you put a picture of their home at 38.
And you change the name and the address there. You put it, that.
And the picture of their home you put from the assessors?
The assessors, or a photo you take, or a screenshot of Google Maps. Something like that.
Okay.
Something that would represent their home.
Right. Gotcha.
Then we look at it from 4 different points of view. We look at solds, and solds tell us about what the market has been doing. It tells us about the past. It tells us these people put their homes out on the market. They got a buyer that paid this amount for them in the past. Those are important to tell us where we are today because the past informs the present. It's also important because when the appraiser goes out to your property to figure out what it's worth, because you're probably going to have a loan, there's probably going to be an appraisal. To figure out what it's worth, those are the properties that they're going to be hanging their hat on. The price is largely going to be based off of those properties. So we look at the past. We look at pendings that are comparable. And we're going to do this. I'm just telling you how I would say it. We're going to find these properties. We look at the pendings because the pendings tell us in the recent past what has worked. These are houses that went on the market, had their price, went out there, people came, looked at them, and somebody said, yes, I like this house. I will pay this for it. And you don't know what they were willing to pay. If they were on the market for $300, maybe they got $295. Maybe they got $305. You don't know what someone was willing to pay, but you know what they did worked. You know that them putting their house at this price got a buyer. Then we look at active comparables. And what active comparables tell us is what the future market is going to be. And it also tells us what didn't work. Because remember, unless it's been on the market for like 5 days, if it's been on the market for a month or 2 months, all of these pendings, if they were comparable, the ones that are under contract, the people who went under contract on the pending house, they probably walked through the actives. And they probably said, no, we like that other one more. And that's why they didn't offer on the house that is currently active. So they're the competition. They also maybe didn't do it right because they're second place. And when it comes to working with a buyer, you go out and you show them 5 houses and they have their number 1 pick that they like, and that's the one that they wrote an offer on. Number 2 is just the first loser. Number 2 is not like, yeah, we were second place. They're just the first loser. They're the first one that didn't get an offer. So, what's that? Runner-up Miss America. Aw. Okay, so then we've got something going on with this. When you download it, it doesn't have,
So is this
it's doing something.
Did you put the addresses right in there? Or?
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, let me talk about so then after, let's say you have your property, I'll address that. After you have your property, you look at the solds, you look at the pendings, you get a feel for where it is. Yeah, we're going to be somewhere in that 300 range. And so then what you say is, all right, if there is a buyer walking around Fruita, because we are talking about Fruita, right? Yeah. If there's a buyer walking around Fruita, driving around Fruita, and they've got a 3 1/4 pre-qual in their pocket, they can get a loan up to $325,000. What are they going to be looking at? Not just what is comparable to us, but what else are they going to be looking at? Because if there's some house that wasn't built in 2007, let's say it was built in 1990 and is in pretty decent condition and is on a half acre rather than your 2/10 of an acre, are you going to lose to that house too? Look at everything in that price range. So to answer your question, we're talking about this square box here. Yeah, that is, those X's are in there as a reminder to put in numbers. You would fill in here sold comparables, most comparables sold in the past X months. Did you have to go back 6 months, or was 3 months enough? They are between blah, blah, blah square feet and blah, blah, blah square feet, built between such and such and such and such, with how many beds, how many baths, in what area. Sometimes if you don't have a nice homogeneous thing, you got to get creative on it. And we're not going to get creative today. We're going to do baby steps, training wheels type stuff. When you've got a unique property, it can get weird. And when you have a unique property, remember, you're not doing an appraisal. You don't need to tell the seller how much their house will sell for right away. You can get them in an area. Well, if you're priced here, this is where you'll be. This is the competition. It looks like there's no competition. I did one, maybe it wasn't last week, it was 2 weeks ago now, on K Road. And it's 8 acres, and there just isn't anything 8 acres available that's not like $1 million property. And their house isn't fantastic. It's 1,700 square foot, built in the 70s. Not a lot done to it. But if you look at the competition, if we priced it about where they thought they'd want to be, we're so much better than the competition. We'll come out on the spring. We'll see what the competition is then. But
you're not listing the properties, like the addresses on that page with it, or putting those in it, or they're
right. Okay, so what? I lost my. Here's what I held doing. Sorry, everybody out there on Facebook. We lost the projector.
That happens. It happens here sometimes.
Come on, projector. This one's power. Yeah. This one's projector. Did I step on it? I stepped on it, I bet. Did you say that?
Yeah.
Yay, okay. I stepped on it. All right. Okay, so Serena, your question is, you don't list them on this sheet. No, on this sheet, this sheet is like a cover page to a section.
Okay, so you would,
I print the MLS sheet
okay.
and put it behind this. So, this is page 39 and the next page is 40. If you've got 3 comps, you put them between 39 and 40. Well, that goes to something I skipped. I still like to do a paper presentation. I print this all in color. These are on 8.5 by 11 slides. I do a paper presentation in a 3-ring binder. People love it when you leave a binder behind that's about their house. They love that. I get these little Avery Stickum tabs, and I stick them to the sections that are in here. Because you got 50-some pages of paper here. You're like, wait, where's the wait, hold on. As you're flipping through it, doesn't look good. Just flip, flip, flip. Yeah.
Do you sheet protect?
No, it's just the paper. If you wanted to, you could edit this to make it you'd have to move everything, but you could do this on a tablet. You could come up with a really nice presentation on a tablet that changed these to landscape. You'd have to move everything around, but it'd be beautiful. Okay, let's go to finding, let's go to finding comps. So I will bring up my Paragon.
On the seller information,
Mm-hmm.
so do you pull that sheet?
Seller information on this presentation?
Yeah, like do you pull it and do you keep that in there and have them fill it out, or I mean, what do you do?
Oh, this here?
Yeah.
You're looking down the seller questionnaire
Yeah.
and seller information. Yeah, I have those print off with the whole package. I don't do a 3-ring binder punch on those. I keep them in the pocket of the binder. This seller questionnaire has gotten me listings. Just like they were like, everything else, you guys were kind of equal. It was the fact that before you started your presentation, you started asking us questions about where we wanted to move. What would it mean if we didn't get you there in 30 days? What would it mean if we do? What are the questions here? If we sell your home in the next 30 days, will that pose a problem for you? Excellent question. If yes, what would the problem be? What would happen if your home did not sell? If they're like, I don't know, I'll just stay here. You know what their motivations are.
So funny.
Um,
Oh my God, you need to be-
How much do you owe on the property? On a scale from 1 to 10, with 10 being very desirable and 1 being not desirable at all, what one thing could happen to make the sale of your home a 10 for you? It's a really silly question. It really is. Most people just say, well, I guess a 10 would be as if you got us the money and it all went well, right? But it puts that in their mind that you're thinking, I want this to be good for you. What do I have to do to make it good for you? What's important to you about your answer is going deep again. What one thing could we add to make the sale a 10 plus for you? Okay. Sometimes I can't pull this off with them. Sometimes they're like, what? Let's just get to the, okay, we'll just get to it. It's kind of like Diana's thing with the disc presentation. Some people really care. Oh my God, he's asking us about us and what it means to us. Some people don't care. If they don't care, move on. Move on. Don't be like, I got to find out. No, you've got to tell me what would make this a 10 plus. I want to do good. Don't do that. Okay, seller information. This one is really for after you've listed the property. And this is, how is it best to get in touch with you? Who's the primary? Do you want me to talk to the wife or the husband? Well, how about showing? What kind of notice do we need for showing? Stuff like that. Do you? Some people love it when you call. Hey, it's Travis. I'm calling to set up a showing. Oh, some people don't want that. Some people want showing time to just send them an email and they're like, boom, yeah, let it happen. That's a different class. We've got a half hour. Let's stay on this one.
What does that mean, though, the prepare 7 habit style guide for broker to review before listing appointment?
That's a note to me. Where's that?
Okay.
That's a note to me. The idea there is for you to practice what you have done before or review things you've done before so that you don't do them again. You may walk out of a listing and be like, I practiced, I did it so well, I let them bulldoze me on this. And you walk away and you're like, I've got to figure out how to not be bulldozed on that. And something else comes up, and then 3 or 4 weeks later, you're sitting down with someone else and you didn't realize to study that, you forgot. So it's just a way to make notes.
Like a critique of yourself of the presentation?
Yeah, and that's a note to me, really. That's a note to me to do that. It's a note to me that I made in April. And it's December, so sometime I'll do that, but it's there. All right. 1145 River Rock Court, Fruita, Colorado, 81521. We are dealing with a lovely typical stucco home, 1829 square feet, forced air, central air, 3-bedroom, built in 2009. This is awesome. This is going to be great. Okay, so we don't have to follow hard and fast rules of what comps, what constitutes comp. We can narrow it down, we can expand it until we find our comps. An appraiser does have rules that they have to follow. We're just looking for the best comps, and we're looking for 3. If there's more than 3, sweet. We don't want to throw too many in there. We're going to go search residential. Now, this is not using the MLS's CMA tool. This is how I do it. I never have cared for that CMA tool. I managed to save some criteria in there once. And okay, so we're not going to look by price. We're going to look by type. Single family. Area, Fruita. Property status. We're going to start with solds. Let's see, because that's a pretty typical thing, we're going to look at solds for the past 3 months. And let's get the year built in there. 2009. So plus or minus 5 years is a good range for that time period. If you're dealing with a house built in 1950, plus or minus 5 years may not be, as applicable. You might want to say plus or minus 20 years, because a house built in the 60s is very similar to a house built in the 50s, a house built in the 30s, very similar. Just depends on what you can and have to do.
Years is kind of a long time, right?
It is a long time.
So 5 probably is more realistic, I think.
Yeah, but like I said, if it's in the 50s, what is different between 1945 building standards and 1950s building standards? And is there big difference between a 70-year-old house and a 75-year-old house? There really isn't. We were 2009. So we're going to go to 2014. Look at that. Okay, so as I enter, by the way, as I enter criteria here, up here the count automatically updates, which is nice. So I put in 2014 and I hit enter. All right, tabbed over, and it took 6 out. So we're at 24 now. We're like, sweet. We have lots of comps. So year built, and now let's do total square footage. What were we, 1829? Okay, so most people, in my opinion, I haven't done any scientific research on this, most people can't tell the difference between an 1,829 square foot house and a 2,000 square foot house. Walking in, people aren't very good spatially at telling 100 square foot different. 100 square foot is a 10 by 10 foyer. That's what it is. 100 square foot is a 5 foot by 20 foot hallway. So going plus or minus 10% in this range, since we have so many comps, probably not bad. If you are short on comps, plus or minus 15%, plus or minus 20%, you start getting further away. 1829, 10% of that is 183 square feet. You take that off, and that puts you at 1650 for the bottom end. You add on 183 square feet, and you wind up, I'm not going to even do that, 2,000-ish. And I say ish because if you go 2,100, yeah, maybe you'll find comps. Look, 9, right on. 9's pretty good. Did we have a 3-car garage?
Yes.
Yep. And by the way, it doesn't say a garage count down here.
And when you're looking on here,
Yeah.
a lot of people don't check 3-car or like 3-car garage, because when I put that in for some of my searches,
Yeah.
I get nothing.
You get nothing for 3-car? Okay, what I was going to say is you can look in the photo to see the garage count, and you can look at the size of the garage here to see, 21 foot is typically a 2-car garage, and then adding some on. So let's put in garage count and see what happens. If we put in, if we put in 3-car, takes us down 5. Now, that took us down a lot. I'm going to leave them in just because those extra 5 aren't going to overwhelm us in looking at this list. And it might be that there's some things that are just so much more perfect even if it has a 2-car garage. I don't want to exclude it. All right, so here we have 1662 square foot. We're kind of at the small end. 2-car, oh, that's a 3-car garage. Built in 14. That's not a great comp. I'm going to see if there's better. 04, it's on the older end, 1,700 square foot, 2-car garage. Not perfect. Let's go better. See if we got better. Ooh, 03, 1,800, 3-car garage. It's a little older. What were you saying?
What year is that one?
This one's 2003.
And, well, it's only 3 years difference, though.
It's 6 years. Is it? Wait, what year were we?
The other one, 2006? Oh, I thought it was 2000.
We're 2009.
Oh,
How come that came up? I thought I went plus or minus 5 years.
You did 02 to,
you said, yeah, you did. Right, you did 14.
Well, I
Yeah, you
didn't
did
count right.
2014.
Let's do 2004. Let's see what that does. Okay, search. We've got our newer, smaller. Got our older, smaller. Oh, that one's really close. I don't like the vinyl siding compared to the stucco. 2-story. Yeah, it's got a 2-car. Let's just keep going and see what we've got.
so something else I did for this property because it seems to be in like a little niche.
Yeah.
thing, just that road. So I compared the others that were on River Rock Court, and they are like selling for 15-ish% higher than their comparables.
Well, that's interesting to know. She said that this road, the comps on the road seem to be selling for 15% higher. That's something to consider of how much you can push it. I don't know. This one's got a 3-car, 1,956 square feet. That's probably one of the better ones so far. I'd like to deduct points for it being ugly, but that's my opinion. Here's a 2-car garage, stucco. Yeah, similar outside in character, 1,958 square feet, built in 2005. That one seems like it's on the nose there. Ooh, 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 ooh! Look at that one. That's 2008 stucco, 3-car garage.
Oh, it's so perfect.
1,877 square feet.
Oh, perfect. Identical.
It is. That one's awesome.
And 4 bedrooms.
Were we 4? We were 3. We were 3. We're at 3.
Or 3.
We're
Yeah,
at 3.
but still,
Oh, I just love how Christina's getting excited about this house, though, too. I love it. Okay, so we've got 3 checked here. We've got 3 checked, and this is where you just kind of step back and look at it and say, huh, are we all in the right range here? Did we really pick the right ones? I think so. I think the reasons we threw out the other ones were valid. And too small, too old. Yeah, I think we've got them here. Okay. So now,
where was this other one located at compared to where these are located?
Well, it's on the other side of the interstate.
on the south side. Is this on the south side?
It is, yeah, and it's just west of the golf course.
Okay. That does matter if this is on the south side of the interstate versus the north side. It seems like north side is a little more
And so-
desirable, but
Well, this is my question,
Hmm.
that one that's down on the bottom, I kind of think it was Wildwood though, so it's on the other side.
this one, Wingate,
Oh, yeah, no.
And Wildwood.
That one's on the south side.
listen to you. You know them.
And if it is, and it's one of the higher price, 347, then she could go up a little bit more compared to the other two.
Well, I'm
Just curious where.
yeah, so here's one of the things I like to do, and if you're analyzing it during, that's great. I like to look at this as a kind of a research project. We're just finding the data. Then we take all of the data that we get and we put it all together and we say, okay, what does this all mean? If we take ourselves and the conclusion out of finding these, we get a little more information because we're not putting our bias and trying to justify a price we have in our head. Does that make sense?
Well, I was just looking at the difference in how, I mean, those are
Yeah.
way different, whether to take one off there and find a different one.
Yeah.
Because of,
Okay, what are you showing me?
So in the past year, these are the ones that have sold on that same road.
Uh-huh.
This one is only 600 square feet bigger, and that's
Wow.
what it just sold for. And so that's why
Yeah.
I ended up putting this in a higher range.
I would say, though, only 600 square foot bigger.
So
That is a
100 more.
third of the house more.
Okay.
That's a third more.
Okay. But it had the same, 3-car garage.
Yeah.
and stuff.
I'm saving these as a PDF here so that we can, I'm going to save them to the desktop and then blow them out. This is normally what I would do. I would save them or print them. Oh, I printed the wrong one. Oh, well. I mean, the wrong view. That's not the view I like. And then, okay, so it's 243. Then we're going to take the same data, same criteria rather, and we're going to change the status to pending. And look at that, there's 8 pending. And I'll just run through the same process with them. 2-story, 2007, 1849, 2-car garage. Not bad if it wasn't a 2-story. Oh, what subdivision is that in?
Canterbury Park?
Yeah, Canterbury.
Isn't that just by Vermont?
Yeah, Canterbury Park is over off of Otley, isn't it? Just north of Windsor Park.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll check it. Here we go. We've got 1793, not bad. 2-car, 2004. I don't know. Kind of smaller. Let's see if we've got better. 3-car garage, 1944 square feet. We're not stucco on this. Oh, we are stucco. We are stucco. That's not bad. That one's not bad. 2005, 1924 square feet. Not bad. 2-car garage. Let's check it. Let's check it. Pine Street, 2004, 1800. Oh, that's not bad. Let's check it. Let's check it, because you can always uncheck them. Check doesn't cost you nothing. Echo Canyon. Oh, let's see. That one is 1820 square feet. 3-car, 2013. That is a fair amount newer. Seems like we've had. Ours is, yeah, it's only 4 years. Let's check it. Okay, we've got 2 more to go. 1949 square feet, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. built in 2004. You know, it seems like there's a lot better under contract comps than not. So,
2008.
yeah, 2008. What I was going to say, I think it's time to start dropping off two-car garages. So we're not going to do this one. How many do we have? We have, yeah, look at that. So, all right, we can drop off Canterbury Park. We can drop off Monument because it has a two-car. Yeah.
Next question, it's not related to exactly this. I mean, this particular search, but
Okay.
do you also include when it's year built, so you have that as a consideration? And then the square footage and all that sort of stuff. And location is included.
Yeah, what's the question though?
I mean, are you looking at homes within that specific area?
Fruta.
Okay.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
Fruta in general.
Yeah, you know, and so you can do a circle around starting at your house and go a mile out. But you got to think of it like a buyer would think of it. A buyer is going to want Fruta or the North or Orchard Mesa. And so, yeah, you can draw that radius if you want, but what if just at 1.1 miles, there's like the perfect comp, but it just is outside your circle. Yeah. Okay, so we've got 4 comps here. And you know what? There's nothing that says we can't use 4.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about that.
Yeah.
How many comps do you?
3 is good.
3 to 4?
Three is good. If you're really bare, 2, you know, 1 is hard because it doesn't show you any kind of range. It just shows you 1 point.
So I have a
So
question.
yeah, what's the question?
Just real quick, so, the one that we did before would have been, what had sold, and we put that in our packet, or in our listing presentation, under sold.
Uh-huh.
And then would you, those ones that you just pulled up, could you pull one on there that was like taking backup offers? Could you put that in as pending or active comparables?
It's pending. These are all under contract. The taking backups just means,
I know that.
Okay.
I know what it means.
okay,
I'm asking, what do you put under active comparables?
I'll show you.
Oh, okay,
That's next.
we're doing, okay.
That's
I'm
next.
Jumping, sorry.
You are, jumper.
I thought you could just use one of those.
You know, well, first of all, you don't have to have any of these categories if they don't exist. If there's nothing under contract, you don't have to have in here what's under contract. Remember,
Well, I know
this is to
why.
get you to a point where you can confidently say where you should be placed in the market or could be placed in the market.
I
yeah.
was just wondering if you could use that as.
Yeah, Jonna.
Sorry, do you actually use the CMA thing on?
No, this is actually exactly how I do it.
You don't use that CMA?
I don't like it. It forces me to, it shows things that I don't want, and it doesn't show things I do want, and it forces you to pick this, and it displays, and how come there's not anything in this category, and I don't like that. Yeah, I don't like it. Okay, property status, active. We've got 7 here. Let's see what we've got for 7. Garnet. It's older, a little smaller, 2-car garage. Seems like we could do better. Good to see. Look at this, though. They were at 293. Everything we've seen so far is like, that might be a little high. Ooh, look at this one, 1823, built in 2004, 3-car garage. Let's check it. This is Kaylee. This is down on that south side. It's not stucco, but it's really close location-wise. I think. What? I mean,
It's,
closer than, eh, eh. Serena's turning her nose up at Kaylee.
well,
Well, haha. Ah,
and I can totally judge because I live in a shed.
you live in a shed. Amethyst. This one was built in '05. 1,810 square feet, worth checking. 1869 square feet, built in '04, two-car garage. So you guys may notice that I'm not looking through all the pictures yet. We're not looking at granite countertops and all that. We're kind of just trying to get near it on the stats. And then you need to decide how you stack up compared to them. Do you have better finishes than them? And that's just one of those things that you consider. Are we better than them? Yeah.
So granite has a certain cachet
Yep.
over tile,
Yep.
possibly.
It does.
Countertop.
It does.
So how do you value granite to all these? I mean,
More.
you can really.
You value it more.
How much?
Wow.
Don't get too tied down on that.
But I mean,
I'll show you something that will make your analytical brain feel really good
okay, you start
at the
making
end of
it
this.
stigmatized properly. Nobody wants to work with people.
I'll show you something, Trish, that you're gonna love. So, okay, Trish's question is, how much more do you put on it? And so here's the point of this listing presentation versus one that is you calculating the value of someone else's property. If you calculate their value wrong, they're going to say, whoa, 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 you said it was worth this, and it is not. This one, you give them the information, and you let them come to the conclusion of what it's worth.
Would they
And-
say to you, like, my granite is worth this much to me?
Yeah.
$20,000
And you need to decide if they're full of it or not, right? Yeah, 20,000. See ya. Yeah. Or 20,000. I had someone tell me that they made sure the builder used the good nails on their house. Okay, back to this though. Let's stay on this because we got just a few more minutes. 1824 two-car. You know what? Because we have. Okay. What do you guys think of this one? Yeah, that one. Let's check it. Check it. Okay. Oh, yeah, that's a really good one, isn't it? What's that? Definitely. I mean, and we're so wide on our rate. Oh my gosh. Okay. What should we drop, Serena?
Crystal White.
Crystal. Let's drop Kaylee
Yeah, Keely's down
and Amethyst. I think we might be at the high range on these.
there.
Yeah, I think we might be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you been in the house, Serena?
A while back.
Okay. Print.
It's clean, yeah.
It's clean.
Yeah,
It's high end. Okay.
and a good builder.
And a good builder.
Now, do you tell them who built it?
I love the fact when people put who built it in the MLS because most of the time no one has any idea who that is. But the fact that you say it is like, oh, Bob Jones built that. Ooh.
Well, we're in the building industry,
Yeah.
so we know.
So you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're
Active.
huge difference.
Okay. So, all right. Active. All right.
Sound it out.
Man.
CMA, because I think about every
Don't
last
think about
one.
everything too much. Okay. So,
You have to realize that he's just collecting data.
yeah, we're just collecting it now. Which one is my, okay. Okay, so here we are. We have all of this data now, and we've printed off these sheets. We have them saved or whatever, and we get a sense of where it is. And it looks like we're in that mid 350s based off of what we've seen. And really, I mean, that, unless you want to use the tool that I'm going to get to here real quick, and I don't want you using it just yet.
Okay, so
Okay, then you love that tool? Have you played with it? No, I'm talking on the BPO tool and the goodies.
are
Okay.
you gonna factor in that street is like this special glitch in there?
No, I haven't, not on this, but you have that knowledge, and yeah. So based off of these, what is your gut telling you, and where does this tell you you're fitting? 350, 375?
Yeah.
Okay. So then you would go back and you would say, okay, if we're in Fruta, and we can afford 390. Okay? If you can afford 390, you're not looking at 250, are you? Are you looking at 300? Maybe. Okay, there's 24 houses you can buy in that range. And you search, and sort them by price. And then you say, all right, if we're priced at 375 or 380, are we going to lose to this guy? No. Okay. This is the highest priced one.
Yeah, and I know for a fact we're not losing.
So if we price at 385, we're not losing to him.
Yeah,
If we price at 385, are we losing to this one? Very different property here.
because there's acreage there.
Built in 1908. It's a very different property. Do you want to consider this as your competition? The person who wants that house probably doesn't want this house. Yeah. Okay, we're not going to lose to them, to our buyer. You see the process that we're going through? Will we lose to this house?
No.
Will we lose to them? Okay. So if we're not going to lose to those, then you say, okay, well, what about 400,000? If we price it, if we price it at 385, are we going to lose? Are these so much better that someone's willing to pay 5 or 10,000 more? It's 2,100 square feet there, brand new. Doesn't have a yard.
Doesn't that one come with the, because that's right.
I don't know if it does or not. I don't know this market that much.
That one is just crossing the Concord.
Okay.
No, that one's not. It's the next one over.
That house is a beater.
This house?
Ugly.
Oh, it's ugly, but it's brand new. But it is ugly, you're right. How many points does it get knocked? Who the heck decided to do this big old gable?
Oh my God, she needs to go back to school.
I have not seen a single one of the properties.
Yeah.
There's a granite countertop, though, but oh my
There's your granite counter, and you got.
Siding inside. Look, the
This
siding
is-
inside. Look what's the siding inside. Look, it matches your outside. Oh, it matches your outside of your garage.
Okay,
The cabinets too.
so
Give you her name later. Okay.
so here's
The cabinets are like melamine, I mean, they're not even, okay.
And then Christina says, that's my aunt.
so you start getting up to, you know, like, okay, Christina, Serena, you start getting up to, well, will we lose to these?
To the other one, you-
Will you lose to the uglies? Will you lose to this? And the, you know, okay, maybe not. Maybe we would lose to that one.
That one, I mean, that's almost
That's
400 more square.
I know. So
And what is
you shouldn't be priced. You should not be priced here. You're going to lose to that one.
But I do know that the dirt in that one, that there's a better chance that that house is going to move.
Okay, you may know that.
Yeah, I do.
Does the buyer know that?
Well,
Are you going to be there telling everybody who looks at your house, don't buy Lola because there's a chance that dirt will move?
yeah, I mean, I could.
she's an excavator.
I know she is. You're not going to do that.
No.
You're not going to do that. Okay, here's the point though. Here's the point though. We guide them into the range where we think it is. We let them come up with the price.
So theoretically, yes. it would
Yeah.
be that.
Okay. You need to also, if you start pushing it and pushing it and pushing it, start looking at the question of, okay, how many houses between 375 and 425 have sold in Fruta in the past 6 months?
I was just gonna ask you that,
Because that's
because I'm wondering, why are they?
0618 2018. Okay, there are 17 that have sold in that range in Fruta in the past 6 months.
Oh my God.
Okay,
Exciting.
how many are on the market?
Yeah, that's the big question.
8.
8. Hey, that's pretty not bad. If you do the math on that, that means there's a 3-month inventory of houses in that price range. That's not bad.
I like where this is going.
You like it? Okay. Let's now talk about the tool for Trish. Before I show it to you, I want you all to understand it's a very powerful tool that can, I have a very powerful tool in here that can lead you very far astray. Okay? It can really, really mess up your thinking if you're not using it properly. This is the type of property that is somewhat appropriate for it. Use it for you. I would be reluctant to hand it to the seller because the seller is going to see calculations and rely on calculations. When we have math, we tend to feel like, oh, there's a formula, there's the math said that. But that's not how it goes in a market. So under listing tools is this BPO. BPO stands for broker price opinion. I'm going to download this because it works better. It works better as an Excel. Works better in Excel than it does in Sheets. So this is kind of, I built this. It's based off of what we do with bank-owned properties. We don't do appraisals. We do this broker price opinion. It doesn't take into consideration everything, but it does take into consideration a lot. And this happens to have information from a Fruta property. So on it, I've noted what the information is about it, the year, the range of the search, because I can't remember anything. So the range of the search is in there. This is about the subject property, what it is, the key factors about it. And then these are the 3 sold comparables. The address, photograph, which is just a,
Oh, I like this.
I knew you would. On the agent detail sheet, you right click, you do a save as, save the photo, insert it, and so you have a photo of the property. The address, the sold price, the MLS number, the sale date, days on market, concessions. So we're doing adjustments here, adjusting something up or down. And the way to think of it is, if you're not used to what an adjustment is, let's say hypothetically we have 2000 Honda Accords, exactly the same price. And one of them has new tires on it, and one of them doesn't. Automatically we know the one with new tires is worth more than the one with old tires. Let's say I own the one with the old tires, and I know that that one sold for 2000 Accord. That one sold for $3,000, and they have $600 worth of tires on it. If it's sold for $3,000 and there's $600 worth of tires, and I don't have those tires, mine is worth $600 less than that one. Therefore, mine is worth $2,400. My tires are crap. All right, my tires are illegal. Let's say that. Yeah, let's say mine are bald. So in that scenario, I know, well, I could charge $2,400 for mine because it doesn't have the tires. So you deducted.
Oh, design and appeal, that's good.
Yeah, design and appeals on here. Yeah, I deducted value. Now, let's say hypothetically that I have my car with new tires and the exact car had bad tires and it sold for $3,000, and I know that I put $600 in tires. I get to add $600 to my value. So we compare, we change ours, we adjust ours. We can't adjust the comparable. That is what it is, set in stone, boom, stamped for eternity. That transaction was that transaction. And so we adjust us. In this case, Dogwood had $4,000 in concessions. They paid buyer's closing costs. So $4,000 comes off because, well, we're assuming we're not going to have to pay that when we're figuring our value. We don't have $4,000 already included in our price and our value. This one had a little larger lot, so it got adjusted down. This one had an extra bedroom, a superior characteristic, so it got adjusted down. It had less square feet, GLA, gross living area. Probably should just change that to SF or something like that. Gross living area is the bank-owned speak. So it got adjusted down. And it had baseboard and evaporative rather than refrigerated air, so it got adjusted down. And you come up with these values here based off of adjusting. Now here's where it's dangerous. That's where it's dangerous. Who came up with those values? I did. I did.
Really?
Yes.
But I mean,
Where did they come from? Right. Where did they come from? And that's what makes this dangerous. That's what makes this dangerous. Obviously, concessions gets adjusted down because $1 in Fruta is the same as $1. Yeah. So yeah, you run into this issue though of how much more is 5/100ths of an acre.
Right.
Well, and that comes down to experience. And that's where it gets really dangerous. You'll notice in the formula here that it is this cell. No, it's this cell minus this cell, 0.22 minus 0.175 times 50,000. And so you have to ask yourself, well, really, what does 0.22 mean? It is roughly 30% more lot. And that's great. But is it really 30% more lot that matters? Or is it twice as much backyard? Because 5/10, if you have a 75-foot wide lot, right, yeah. I mean, it all depends. So much of it depends. But it's about twice as much lot, twice as much backyard.
And then do you factor in easements on that as well?
No, because you're thinking about the kids playing and the dog running around. I mean, if there's easements that mean you can't do it, you can really make this too much more complicated than it needs to be. You really can.
I know, Serena, I'm starting to think that.
And I know
There's
that-
so many things. Yeah.
Have you ever used this thing?
This is, I created it.
Oh,
I created it. This was a blank Excel spreadsheet
oh,
Right,
you did
I was
this?
just-
that I created, and I sold this house. And guess what I sold this house for?
What?
$300,000.
Right.
And look at these numbers.
And I'm looking at them, I have to tell you, I have to compliment you on it actually, because when I went through school, we
Yeah.
did something like this.
Oh, did you?
Yes, we
Yeah.
learned this, and it was an amazing experience. So, and I'm looking at your numbers, and I'm like, wow, it's really good. Like, it's really cool.
Thank you.
Because, like an extra car garage, that was one of the things when you were going through and you're like, okay, let's get rid of the 2-car garage.
Yeah.
And stuff. In my head, I'm thinking, that's okay, we can add 10,000.
We can add $10,000 for the garage. See, and that's actually, I think, does this have it? I think that's the number I used for
That's really sweet. You're just
garage.
right on.
I used, yep, 10,000 for the garage here. I don't use 10,000 for the garage if I'm doing this in Carbondale. That garage is worth 2025.
Oh,
And now also though, remember there's a difference between a 1-car garage and a 2-car garage. Ooh. Okay, 2-car garage, 3-car garage? Yeah, nice. 3-car versus 4-car. Okay. 6-car versus 7, whatever. You know, yeah, you know. So don't go using this without talking to me first, because it's all in these adjustments. The square footage adjustment.
And you start messing, like,
Yeah, I mean
if you mess up and change the comparable, you're just gonna mess the whole thing up.
Well, yeah, if you change that, yeah. The square footage, though, is 90. That's what I used on it, and the reason being is 100 more square feet. You don't get the full square footage value. Let's say you've got $200 a square foot or $150 a square foot. If you make a room bigger, it's not the same square footage price more, because you don't have more furnace, you don't have more kitchen, you don't have more bathrooms, you don't have more building permits and tap fee. You just have a little more carpet and a little more wall on two sides, because this wall is the same. So you have more flooring, more roofing. So you don't get the same square footage value increase. So if this works on really vanilla stuff. The danger is that you really think you know what the value is. And a buyer, I mean, the market may say otherwise, and a seller may say otherwise. So let the seller decide, really. Let the seller decide. But this is a tool. It's a powerful tool if it's used right.
Success of this seems predicated on the accuracy of the comps. If the comps are very true to the subject property, then this could give you a real clear story. But if the comps are not true to the subject property, then a lot of adjustments are due.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, everybody, I'm sorry if you can't see that, what I just pulled up. I'm sorry, I think I have this just, rather than on the desktop, I have it on, and I'm going to pull, so Kelly just made the comment that it depends on the accuracy or the closeness of the comps to your subject. The truth is, the closer the comps are, the easier it is to use that tool, but also the closer the comps are, the less need there is to use that tool. Where that tool or something similar to it gets handy is when you have comps that are way, way off.
It's nice to use me of like, different air conditioning.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what would be.
Like,
We don't need to go through an example. I was going to pull up an example here, but I use it when things are way off. All of my bank-owned clients make me do those every 3 months, and we adjust them in and out, up and down to get dialed in. What I really want you guys to take away from this is the 4 ways to look at a property. What are they? What's the first one? Okay, the 4 perspectives.
are you talking about active?
Yeah. What's the first one? Sold,
Sold,
pending, active, competition. Yeah, the price range. Yeah. Who's? It's
Price range.
well, it's not titled price range. It's right here. Comparable competition.
Oh, you're talking about on that, right?
Yeah.
You actually search.
We
for it.
did. We did. That's when we kept raising the price. 385. Are we going to lose to them? 400. Are we going to lose to them? 415. Are we going to lose to them?
That's what that is.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's a good way to present it to people. It's very similar to how Diana Kokoska does hers, or did hers. It lets them come up with the value. You lead it to them. When the answer comes from that person, they own the answer and they believe it more than if you tell it to them. If you'd say,